Shkodran Mustafi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. How are you doing, first and foremost?
Well, I'm great. I just finished my first training session. There's one more training session waiting for us. So, yeah, and the time between there, I'm here sitting to talk to you guys.
You've got a massive following in Malaysia, given your travels across Europe when it comes to football. But what compelled you to make the return to Germany, to play in Germany in the Bundesliga? I mean, it's been a difficult start to your time back in the Bundesliga as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what convinced you to go back to the Bundesliga, and what's it been like so far for you?
Well, of course, Bundesliga has been always in my head, because I started playing in Germany. I started playing in Hamburg, but then I left the country in a young age when I was only 17. So, of course, since then I had always the thinking of my head to come back to the Bundesliga, because, of course, I wanted to play in the country that I'm born and that I grew up in. So, yeah, that I didn't need too much to convince me, because even if we are struggling at the moment, but I'm aware of how big this club is, because I know that this club is not just a club in Germany, is one of the biggest clubs. So for me, it was not a lot of things that needed to convince me to come here. Of course, I knew about the situation. I knew that it's going to be difficult, but I played a long time in football to know that. Yeah, even in difficult situation, you can learn the most. So I'm 28 and I'm still learning. I'm trying to learn until my end of the career, and I'm here as well because I try to help my teammates with my experience that I had with what I can do on the pitch. So that's basically why I came here.
I mean, Shkodran, football can be such a frustrating sport at times, in a sense where sometimes you work your socks off in training, you give your heart and soul, especially like what you guys are doing at Schalke at the moment, but then things still don't work out on the pitch. How are you guys handling that as a team, as a unit, within the dressing room from a mental standpoint?
I think this is probably the hardest thing to manage, because it's not something that you can learn. It's just something that you have to deal with when it comes to this situation. But I think it is the most important thing that we stick together. I think this is something that you hear a lot from us guys saying, because it is something really difficult to have 25, 26, 30 players, plus all the stuff that is with you at the training ground, to sit in the same boat and to go in the same direction, because this is the only thing that you can get out of trouble. And this is something that is really important. So for us, as I said, the most important thing is to stick together, stay together, because we are the only ones that can get this club out of the situation that it is in. But as well, trying and to progress the things that we do well in one game. As you said, sometimes you play a good game, but then still you don't get the result that you wanted, or maybe that you deserved as well. But it is important that in this situation that you don't only look to the things that didn't work out. I think sometimes it is very important to even look, even if it's not a lot, but to look at the things that did work, and to try and hold that one and be better at things that didn't work out.
Let's talk a little bit about 2020, Shkodran, because it was a very tricky year, and I'm very fascinated by how footballers in general have managed it. How did you handle 2020 with the lockdown, with the pandemic, and did it change your view on football or in life in general?
I think it was like for everyone else, this is something that no one really expected. And we all maybe hope that things are going to get better soon. But, for me, it was something that I try to deal as best as I can with it. Like with our situation, I try to be positive and try to see the good things, because I had a lot of time that I could spend with my family that I'm very grateful for. Yeah, I just tried to follow all the rules that we had. Try to listen to learn about all this, because sometimes we take our health for granted, and then in this situation you learn about caring about your mother, about your father, about your grandparents, about older people in general, because I think this is something very important. And of course it changed the view of my life, because probably before. As I said, you would just take things for granted, but they are not. And maybe sometimes you now think more about your grandparents, and sometimes you call them more often now because you know that they're feeling alone. You cannot visit them, or you couldn't visit them for a long time. So I think, of course, that it changed a little bit.
As a Muslim footballer, Shkodran, what was it like also spending Ramadan last year?
To be honest, for me it was perfect because in the time when we had Ramadan last year, I could manage my training sessions on my own. You know, we had slots. At this time I was playing at Arsenal still, so we had slots where we could go to the training ground and train alone. So I could just take my time whenever I wanted to train. So it was perfect because I just could put the training session or do the training session just before iftar, before the breaking of the fast. So to be honest, it was perfect. I had time to spend with my family. I could choose my training times whenever I wanted to train. I could train. So it was great. The only problem or the only bad thing maybe was that I could not see the rest of my family. You know, my parents couldn't come over. My brother. This was maybe the only thing that was a little bit different. But I mean, when the season is going normal, it's still a little bit difficult for us to meet with our parents, because at this time I was in London. My family lives in Germany, so it was never easy to get together. But yeah, but for the rest, I think it was not too bad, to be honest.
What about during a regular season, for say, when games are happening as usual, when you're in the thick and thin of the football season? What's it like dealing with Ramadan in that sense?
Yeah, it's not always easy. I think at this time I'm most caring about staying healthy, because when you're doing such an intense sport, and your body has not enough fluid, you are risking to get injured. So for me, this is the most important thing, because we are getting paid from the club as well to look at our bodies and to always be in the best conditions with your body. So of course I'm always trying to follow everything that I can for my religion, but as well, you're trying to be always in great condition with your body, which is not always easy. But in the past, I have been doing it well, and I think I have the experience now to know how to handle it, how to hydrate whenever I can hydrate, and how to rest whenever I can rest after training.
Was it always helpful when you had a teammate also fasting during Ramadan? Maybe someone like Sead Kolasinac, maybe?
I would not say helpful. Of course, it's something nice, because sometimes, especially last year, we couldn't do it, but the years before, of course, you then meet each other for a meal, and it was something nice, because the other players as well, they were alone in England. At least if you cannot have your family around, you have your second family, which is your teammates. You have them around, and you can eat with them, and you can enjoy Ramadan with them together. But everyone is doing Ramadan for himself, for his own soul. So it doesn't matter if you have someone in your team or you don't have. You do it for yourself. So as I said, it's helpful because you have someone that you can share it with. But in the end of the day, it wouldn't change anything, even if you don't have anyone.
That's interesting, doing it for your own soul. I really like that. How much are you looking forward to Ramadan this year? And do you feel like, given how things have transpired at Schalke, how stressful and difficult the situation has been, do you think it provides the perfect opportunity for you to reset things and find a bit of calm and composure to maybe help you on the pitch as well?
Yeah, I have to say that for me, this month is a special month. And as you said, it's strange, but because you don't, except for the fasting, you don't do too much things different than you do in your normal life. But somehow it just feels that it just resets you, and you calm down a little bit. You don't think about too much about things that are not working or that are not going well. You just appreciate everything a little bit more than you normally do. So of course I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that it's going to be enjoyable for everyone that is doing it. And yeah.
Just one final thing, Shkodran. You've got a lot of fans in Malaysia, obviously, as we pointed out. Do you have any wishes for them for the upcoming Ramadan month? I mean, Malaysia is a Muslim majority country, so also Ramadan is a big deal over here.
Yeah, of course. I hope that that everyone is enjoying it with the family, because, as I told before, it's not always it's not granted to have your family around, because for a lot of people that are not seeing a family, it's a special month to spend with your family together. And then of course that may Allah accept your fasting.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking to us, Shkodran.
Thank you.